Good morning. Morning, everyone. Just want to get some thoughts out there before we go into the weekend. So, what I want to talk about is monotheism. So, monotheism was subject of the last video. So, I'm just going to continue with that until I feel like I've explained it well enough and I fully understand it well enough as well. Okay, just remember what the channel's about. It's building a strong Israel and Jewish people, helping to build that. Not that it's not doing it by itself, but I'm just here to do my bit. Okay, so my bit at the moment is just focusing on just the leaf side of Judaism. Okay, on this particular video, it's addressing monotheism. Monotheism, what it means in Judaism, and monotheism, what it means in Christianity. And why did Christianity have to redefine it? Okay. And my focus is also on some of the characters and people or channels that are out there that have got an influence and they have an audience bringing their understanding of Christianity and all of that. They're quite outspoken, and just remember, my focus is protecting Judaism and Jewish people in Israel, because that's got a mandate that God has given them to the world, and I stand by that. And I'm converting to Judaism, so I'm not Jewish, but I'm going through that conversion process. I've gone through Christianity, Bible college, training, church circles, a whole bunch of stuff to actually land up to this. And I know what the truth is, and I'm presenting that out there. So a couple of the characters that are out there, I'm sure you might know them. The one is apostate prophet. So let's just get there. He's got a YouTube channel and on X and all of that. Was a ex-Muslim, but yes, I'm going to speak into them because some of those people have got a following, and the people that they influence. Yes, let me not go into what I see, but okay. Another one is Dr. David Wood, got an awesome testimony as well, but he's into the Christian circles and got a whole bunch of stuff that he has to say there. So what I do is I just focus on what they talk about, and then let's just see if we can have open discussions and as things go on. Okay, Jews for Jesus is another one. This one is specifically that operates in Israel to try and target Jews and convert them into Christianity. Okay. And then there's another one towards Jesus. This person, Sam, yeah, he's a character, but yeah, just focusing on what they say and how they present it as well, and hope to get to talk with them as well. Okay, and then there's another two. There's Khan and there's Amri. Okay, so yeah, that's just a couple of the people that I follow and see how we can get the discussions going there. Okay, So on this, I just want to make one observation. Okay. Christianity, or let's start here. You've got Israel and the Israel state that protects the other religious groups within Israel itself. The Christians, the Druze, the Muslims, okay? And they do that, and even those that are close to the border, okay? They do that because under Judaism, okay, there's a moral duty to protect life, to protect your neighbor, to protect, and even if your neighbor doesn't believe what you do, doesn't believe what you believe. So they step out and they protect that. You can actually see it now where they're protecting the Druze in Syria, okay? So they're stepping in, all right. In Christianity, the Christian church doesn't go out and protect the Christians in all the other countries that are through the world, that are being murdered or killed or genocidal, that are under attack. Nigeria had it this week. So they don't do that. They they can't fully agree who's totally right within even the Christian circles about their doctrine. So they don't lift up morality first, actually saying, protect life. Let's go and protect your Christian followers in all these other countries. They leave it up to the governing body of that country. But if that country doesn't protect your different ethnic groups or your religious groups, they don't do anything. They might speak out, they might even highlight it, but they don't do anything about it. Okay, that's the difference mainly when it comes to protecting life within Judaism as well. So I just want to highlight that. That's why Israel doesn't get enough credit for that as well. Okay? That they protect those groups, but they clearly communicate that they're protecting life. Okay? The belief system mustn't overtake what Israel is about. Israel is a Jewish state for Judaism that believes the Torah, okay? Mount Sinai through Moses, all of that, okay? It protects the life of the people that are there. You can exercise your religious belief, but that belief must not take over what Judaism is. So protect the life, okay? But if it's radical and wants to take over the belief system, that's not going to happen, okay? Just remember, the Jewish people needed a state after the Second World War, a place where they could settle and protect themselves. But we go back into what the prophecies are, but that's, let's just keep it like that for now. So Christianity, in my mind, is not the same, because Christians are dying across the world and the church is silent, okay? Because they teach a different morality. Yes, it's based on the 10 Commandments, but they raise up the teachings of Jesus, let's call it, the teachings of Jesus higher. The teachings of Jesus higher than the teachings of, let's call it, the 10 Commandments. Okay, so I just wanted to leave it there and just talk a little bit about that. So the next thing, let's get to the monotheism side. Okay, so just remember in Christianity, well, firstly, monotheism in Judaism is one God and He is one. Okay, there's no multiple gods in that. He is one. There is only God, there is only Him, there's no other. It is Him. Okay, in Christianity, it says there's God, the term God, okay, but the term God makes up of three persons or three personalities. Okay, so Christianity is Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. So we take it the Father, that would be the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Okay, and then the Son comes, which He gets born as a man on earth. Okay, and He takes on human form, the human form to become a sacrifice for the sins of the world at the cross, resurrects from the dead after 3 days. That's the resurrection. It's the resurrection of the dead, but that's Judaism. There's also going to be resurrection of the dead. But He comes back and then presents Himself. This is God, the Son, which was there in the beginning, but He's God. He's the Son of God, a human, sacrifice, dies, resurrects, okay, presents Himself, and then He ascends back into heaven on the right hand of the Father. Now we're waiting for that, or they are waiting for the second coming, where He's going to come back down to Jerusalem. He's going to rule and reign from there, okay, and this is going to be a man who's said to be God, but then serve God the Father. Okay, so, all right. But then, okay, then we've got something else that comes in, is the Spirit, or the Holy Spirit, as they call it. And the Holy Spirit is the third personality of the Godhead. Okay, and He was there in the beginning. He's the one that created everything as God the Father spoke. Then the Holy Spirit came and He started doing all the creating. Okay, so in Christian circles, they went and redefined monotheism. Okay, so the monotheism is the divine being or essence. Okay, they believe that there is only one God, one divine nature, but it has three persons, three personalities: the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. And they share the divine essence or the divine being. Okay. So the New Testament writers, they didn't abandon monotheism, they redefined it. Okay. They said that the God of Israel is a solitary being. God of Israel is not a solitary being, okay, but is eternally a relational one. The New Testament writers, guided by the events of Jesus' death and resurrection and the coming of the Holy Spirit, okay, we find in Acts that there's in two places when He actually came, but that contradicts just in the New Testament, but whatever. So they concluded that this is the relational nature of God was the core aspect of his very being. So they didn't see three gods, but they rather saw one God who existed in three persons. Okay. So they clarified this more in the New Testament, but they needed to get to the Old Testament or the Hebrew Bible to then back this up. Okay. Now, you can't fully back it up. But one of the places where they actually land up is in Genesis 1:26, where God says, "Let us make man in our image." So in Judaism, they 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 know, or the revelation there is there's the royal council, or God had created other beings, okay, the angels and that, before the creation of the world. And he was addressing them. So he said, let us, okay, make man in our image, okay, and in our likeness. So he was looking to everything that he had created. And he was not asking, should we create it? He said, let us, okay, let us create. Like sharing what his intentions are to the rest of his creation, okay, saying and also articulating and just saying, we're going to create man in our image. So even you can see or understand or relate to what I'm going to be creating. Okay, so he was just communicating that and bringing them into what he's going to be doing, saying, let us in our image, so that you can relate and all of that. So it's part of his royal council that was there. Okay. But when he goes and creates man, it says, then God created man. It didn't say, then they went and created man. It said, God created man. He created man. Okay. So that's what they said, no, that's where it refers. Father, Son, and Holy Spirit was there in the beginning, and they created man. But it doesn't flow and fit into Judaism and that revelation. They first, in the New Testament writings, came up with a human sacrifice, being God, being Jesus, for his blood to pay for the sins of the world. And then the Spirit that then helps all Christians then to become better, okay? Or they're sealed with the Holy Spirit. There's a whole other talking or video that I can actually, that I'll do on the Holy Spirit and how that seals and all of that. Okay, but that's what they said. So, but it's in contrary. It contradicts what the belief system of Judaism is. Judaism is, there was one God with his counsel. He's letting them know, and he goes and creates man. Okay, Christianity redefines monotheism, says there's three gods. They spoke to each other right in the beginning, and they went and created man and everything after that. Okay, so we just want to say that Judaism, Jewish theology, firmly maintains the absolute and invisible oneness of God. Okay, that there is only one God, not three personalities. It's only God himself. Okay, so I want to leave it there. Why did Christianity always, ask yourself, why did they have to redefine monotheism to fit the narrative of Father, Son, and Holy Spirit? And Judaism sticks on God is one. So a Jew that knows the Torah has been taught in it will not accept Jesus as the Messiah. I don't accept Jesus as the Messiah, okay? Because Mashiach is supposed to fit, or does fit, a different set of actions that he's going to do, or fulfill prophecies he's going to fulfill, where Jesus hasn't. He needs to come twice to do everything that the Hebrew Bible said Messiah, Mashiach, was going to do. And nowhere in the Hebrew Bible does it say Mashiach is God himself and is the Son of God. The Mashiach in the Hebrew Bible is a man from the line of David. He can sin, but he's going to tell everyone who the real God is, God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. So that's why it's from Judaism. So just remember, Christians, you're not going to convert the Jews to Christianity. It's been tried before, forced, but that didn't help, or it didn't work. The revelation that is carried by the Jewish people is Mashiach is still going to come. The third temple is going to be built. And from there, all nations will know who the real God is. Okay, so I just want to leave you with that. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe. Let's have a talk. And I just want to call on everyone. I'm looking for those to join my cause, or this cause, okay, to keep the world and the Christians accountable for the things that they are doing, or what they said to going to be doing to Israel and the Jewish people. We need to get together, band together, get the truth, speak the truth, and get to these people that are speaking what they believe is true. And we need to get the truth of Judaism out there, so that they can understand that what they might think they need to be doing by converting all the Jews to Christians and everyone in Jerusalem and Israel into Christianity, they need to understand that it can't be done. If you're looking at the Hebrew Bible, they need to understand that. So join, let's keep them accountable, have the conversations, and point out our beliefs and understandings and truths. Okay, so like, share, and subscribe, and we will see you next week. Shabbat Shalom.